Don't underestimate the power of score a math victory. Hello my dear students, welcome to Score A Math Victory, online web-based video learning for mathematics. Mr. Max, so excited to see you here at Math Victory virtual classroom. And here you are, you want to learn mathematics. And I'm challenged because you came here with a purpose to learn and to enrich yourself with knowledge on mathematics. With that in mind, Mr. Mac have pledged only to bring the best for you, because you are the best and you deserve the best, and it's coming from the best. Well, my dear students, let's go to the virtual classroom board and talk about things that we're going to learn, all the sub-lessons that we'll be learning in this lesson. Are you ready? Let's go to the classroom. Wow, this is our Math Victory virtual classroom. Come on closer, you can see better. Come on over. This is much better. Mr. Mac can see my dear students. Wow, my dear students, in this lesson 12, we're going to talk about solid geometry. Solid geometry lesson has 3 sub-lessons. Sub-lesson 1, which is the introduction, which you're seeing right now, and then we'll continue with sub-lesson 2, which will talk about geometric properties of cubes and cuboids. And then sub-lesson 3 will talk about how to find the volume of cuboids. Alright? At the end of this lesson, you should able to identify cube, cuboid, cylinder, cone, sphere and pyramid, and you should also understand the properties of cubes and cuboids, and finally able to find the volume of cubes and cuboids. Alright my dear students, I got a video for you to watch. Alright, here it is, have fun with it. Hello boys and girls, welcome back. How are you? Well, Mr. Mac is the Pharaoh, the king of ancient Egypt. Do you know that Pharaoh is a very powerful man during the ancient Egypt time? He's the ruler of the Egypt. Before the Pharaoh dies, he builds himself a burial ground, and it's called pyramid. And do you know that how big the pyramid is? Sometimes it takes up to 100,000 people to build just one pyramid. Now do you know that these pyramids have been built about 5,600 years ago? Wow, can you see that? How shape and space has been utilized during those days? 5,600 years ago. That is quite a long time ago. Look like mathematics been utilized during that time. Boys and girls, we're going to learn shape and space in this lesson. Alright? Can you imagine that? Even at the Egyptian time, which is 5,600 years ago, they used shape and space in building this massive, beautiful pyramid for the Pharaoh. Well, before we head out to the board, how about we do this? Let's go to standard 4, understanding shape and space, and find out how it's been utilized. And here it is. Let Mr. Mac roll it. Oh, hello boys and girls, welcome back to Score A Math Victory. Wow, it's so good to see you. How you been? Well, Mr. Max trying to build a wooden house. I bought this and I tried to build this beautiful house, and I got all these pieces with different shapes. Mr. Mac need to understand all these shapes before I can put this together. It's like building a house. Yes, building a house requires understanding in shapes and space. Guess what? That's what we're going to be learning in this lesson, which would be shape and space. Yes, in this lesson, we're going to learn about shape and space. Well, let's go to Math Victory Shack and learn more about all different shapes and space. And guess what? I will see you at the Math Victory Shack. I'll see you. Hello, boys and girls. How are you? It's so good to see you here at the Math Victory Shack. I am so happy to see you. Well, how about we do this? Come closer so we can get a better view. Come on over. Good. Much better, okay? Good. Well, look what we're going to be learning today. We're going to be learning a lot about shape and space, okay? And Mr. Mac got some shapes cut off, okay? So we're going to learn a few different shapes. First, let's look at this. What shape is this? This is called square. Why is it called square? Square has a length by length which is identical. So this length and this length will be same. If this length and this length is same, and this one also will be same as this, which is same as this, and also same as this. So all the length will be same. So let's write that down. Okay, this is called square. So we're going to put, okay, and this is called square. So that means this, and this. All these four lengths, okay, all these four lengths will be identical, same, okay, so it'll be same length. That makes it square. Now another important thing about square is it has to be perfect vertical and horizontal, okay? So that means it's also called right angle. It makes a right angle here, right angle here, right angle here, right angle there, okay? That makes it square, okay? So if it's not making a right angle, you don't call that square. There's a different name for it. But for you, for right now, I want you to understand this is square because it's a perfect vertical and horizontal, okay? So that makes it square. Good. Now let's look at another one. Now this is called rectangle. Okay, now it also still have four sides, but the difference between rectangle and square is, look at this. If I put this, see that? Square has a perfect length all the way around, all will be identical. For rectangle, I kind of stretch the square a bit longer, but maintain the breadth, okay? The same. The length, I kind of stretched it. So in other words, for rectangle, the length and the breadth are not identical. So this is also called width, okay? So if this is length and this is width or breadth, okay? So keep in mind. Now this is called rectangle. Okay, let's write that down. Now again, the difference between square and rectangle is, for rectangle, this length, this breadth and this breadth are identical. In other words, this width and this width are identical, okay? So this and this are identical, and then the length, the top and the bottom length are identical, okay? See, this is how you do that. You put the two lines like this, it shows this and this are same with a one line, so this and this are same. But look, it's because they are not all the same, that's why I have to use one line for this side and two lines for this side. So that's why I can categorize this two identical and this two identical. Now look at this, the square. I kind of put one line all the way for all four sides because all four sides are identical, okay? Okay, good. Now again, apply the same thing that we learned on the square. It has to have a perfect horizontal and vertical line. In other words, it makes a right angle, okay? So it makes it straight up, okay? It cannot have slanted, okay? That makes it rectangle. Okay, good. Okay, that is rectangle. Now let's look another one. when you have three sides, 1, 2, 3, that is called triangle. Triangle, okay, and this one has equal length, so it called equilateral triangle. Okay, so let's write that down. This is triangle. So this is triangle. Okay, since this are same length, it's called equilateral. Okay, equilateral triangle. Okay, good. So this and there's another example of triangle. Look at this triangle. Okay, now this one has this side and this side are same length, but this one is different. Also triangle. Why is it? We got three sides. Okay, now even it's also still triangle, but it's fall under isosceles. Isosceles triangle has two sides are equal compared to the third one. Now with the equilateral triangle, all three are same length, but still it is a triangle. Okay, and all these are triangles. Okay, good. So let's write down. This is also triangle. Now right now you don't have to know the terms equilateral, isosceles. Okay, so I just want to give you kind of heads up. You're a Math Victory student, so you should just some terms that I want you to know. Now look at this one. This one doesn't have equal length. This one is different than this one and different than this one. So that means I put one line, two line, three line. That tells me the length are not same. They also call scalene triangle. Okay, this is still a triangle because you got three sides. Okay, so this is still a triangle. Okay, and the name for this one is scalene. Okay, so scalene triangle. Good. Now let's go back to the rectangle. Now with the rectangle, this is called length. Okay, and this is called breadth. Okay, or width. Okay, so you gotta have that. Okay, now let's look some of other shapes that Mr. Mac brought along. Now this is another example of rectangle. It's just smaller, but doesn't matter. It's still got four sides, and the length is longer than the breadth. Okay, so that makes it rectangle, and it's a perfect vertical and horizontal. Okay, so it's perfect. So good. So this is a rectangle. So let's write that down. Rectangle. So it doesn't matter. Rectangle can be any shape. Doesn't have to be certain size. Okay, this is smaller than this, but still it's a rectangle. Okay, good. Now let's see if I to put a line to it. How do I do it? I put one line. This line also applies to which side? Very good. Also this side, so I put one line. If I put two lines over here, this is also applied to the bottom one. So this length, two line. Good job. Okay, good. Now let's look more figures here. Okay, look at this one. What shape is this? It has. Can it be a triangle? Does look like close to triangle, but it's not a triangle. Why? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though there's a small line there, still doesn't fit into a triangle family. Triangle only has three sides. Okay, three sides makes a triangle. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a four side. Does that mean rectangle or square? Because rectangle, square, four sides. No, neither. The reason is rectangle, remember we talked about, has to have a perfect horizontal and vertical. In this case, it's not. It's kind of shaped differently. Okay, but it has a four side shape. Okay, so that means this is not a rectangle. Or triangle. Okay, so this is not a rectangle or triangle. Okay, but it's a four-sided shape. Okay, good. Now let's go to another one. Now look at this one. This one has all equal length. Does it make it square? No. Why is it doesn't make square? Because look, it's kind of slanted. Remember we talked about a rectangle has to have a perfect horizontal and vertical. Okay, so vertical and horizontal. Okay, so in this case it's not. It doesn't matter, even though it has a same length all the way around, it still doesn't fit into the square family. Okay, so this is not a square. Not a square. Okay, but it's still a four-sided figure, shape. Okay, let's look at this one. Does this make a rectangle? Well, it got four sides and it's kind of long, but look at that. This breadth and this breadth are not same. Neither this one's kind of slanted slightly up. See that? So this does not make a rectangle. Okay, so it's not a rectangle, not a rectangle. Okay. Okay, so this is not a rectangle. Okay, good. So now you know how a rectangle, square, and triangle looks like. Okay, good. So good. Now let's look at some of the shapes. Look at this shape. Now we can learn. If I had to just cover all this, makes what? A square. When this is a square, and I look all the way around a square. If it's all the way around is a square, you call that cube. This is a cube. Okay, so remember that when it's all the way, all the sides, all the surface sides are square, that makes it a cube. Now look at this one. If I close this up, okay, what is that? It's a rectangle, but it's a shape. Okay, so it's a cuboid. This is called cuboid. Okay, so we'll take it to the board. I'll write down all the terms and we'll learn more. Okay, I just want you to see some figures, how they look like. Okay, so that way you'll understand better. Okay, when you see some image in Mr. Max's hand. Okay, so that way you can understand. Okay, good. So this is called cuboid. Okay, so remember this is cube and this is a cuboid. Okay, good. All right. Well, this is cone, this is pear, and this is cylinder. Okay, now we won't be learning this in this standard 4 level now, but we will be concentrating more on cube and cuboid. Okay, but I still want you to know that this is called cylinder and this is a cone. Okay, and this is a sphere. Okay, good. Okay, how was it? Was that fun? Alright, my dear students, let's go to the board and learn more about solid geometry. Okay, and I will see you at the board. Bye bye.